That's fucking delightful. Fucking delightful. Fucking good combination playing. Sliding balls into space. Good. Excellent. You had them on the fucking roll.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the ROKER Report podcast in association with the Sunderland Community Soup Kitchen. It's Gav, and you join me right off the back of Sunderland's fantastic away win at Reading. Let's just get straight into it. I'm joined by Phil West. Hi mate.
Hi Gav.
So we're both buzzing, clearly.
Oh yes, big time.
Yeah, I mean, we've jumped pretty much straight on our full time here, haven't we?
Yeah.
How would you explain what we've just seen? I can't. I mean, your striker goes off, you have nobody up front, and you score 3 goals and play like that.
Yeah.
It's just unreal.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I think that explaining it starts with a player called Patrick Roberts, who was just, he was just scintillating tonight, wasn't he? I mean, I've been saying for a while, and I think a lot of us have, that, Roberts could be a game changer for us at championship level, because he's got the pedigree, he's got the experience of playing for big football clubs. I think he just needed a run of games and a bit of consistency, because he looked a little bit, off the pace against Middlesbrough last week, but he was just absolutely fantastic tonight, Gav. Unplayable, 2 fantastic goals, and the whole team, I just thought the way they responded to the loss of Ellis Sims. We know this team is resilient. We know this team has got a great team spirit. We know they're a bunch of very professional, dedicated footballers. But no matter what obstacles are thrown into their path, the change of head coach, I should say, the loss of Ross Stewart, the loss of Ellis Sims, they just keep responding and they keep bouncing back. And I think it was a fabulous performance, Gav. It was professional. It was committed. They worked their backsides off. But some of the football we played, which I'm sure we'll come on to, was just dazzling. It really, really was very impressive to watch.
It was. Give us a 3-word review of the game, Phil, off the top of your head.
Absolutely bleeping brilliant.
Well, I asked on Twitter for people to give us theirs. We'll quickly read out some of the ones that people have replied with. Bear in mind, I probably threw this tweet out about a minute ago, so apologies if you're hearing this and I don't read yours out. Mark Nixon says outstanding team performance. Gyro Jim says Mowbray tactical genius. Andy Lynn says pure unadulterated filth, and then I got my words mixed up there. James Felton says who needs strikers? Indeed. Leon Fryatt says book Wembley already? Question mark. Yeah. AWC says jizz me pants. Glenn says third was dreamy. Keith Cowden says joy to watch. Lord Barreld says false striker showcase. Loza says balls are tingling. Chef Paul Askew says absolutely bloody brilliant. Tim says total mugger. I mean, they're all along the same lines here. Everybody's elated with what they've just seen. I mean, just to touch on what you said there, Phil. We've played some good stuff this season, to be fair, but that is right up there. I mean,
yeah,
that third goal. We'll talk about the other two, but just I don't think I've ever seen a better team goal from a Sunderland side. That was unbelievable. And yeah, Reading weren't great tonight. But I don't think there's many teams, if any, who could have lived with what we did there. I mean, it was total football. Like any other team in the world does that. And the internet goes into meltdown over the goal. It was unbelievable.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the speed of thought as well. Every player was on each player's wavelength. And to do that, you've got to be very, very well drilled. And you've got to have trust in your teammates to know they're going to be in the right position. And trust in your own ability as well to make those passes, to make it happen. But yeah, it was absolutely dazzling, Gav. But I think, as you said, we've shown this season that we have what it takes to compete at this level. We've got a very, very talented group of good, skillful young footballers at this club. And I've always felt that that they just needed that little bit of confidence, that little bit of adjustment to get used to the league, to settle in, and then they could start to play their natural game. And I think that the third goal tonight really was a showcase of what this team is capable of. Now, you're not going to be able to do that every single week. That's the realm of fantasy. But it just goes to show that when the confidence is high, when the players are playing with their heads up, that's what we're capable of. And I thought it was fabulous, Gav. It was such a well-worked goal. It was brilliant to watch. Really, really fantastic.
Yeah, and we've got to give the manager praise as well, I think, because
absolutely
everything he said since he walked through the doors is just going to get on with the job. He's really happy to be here. He's happy to have the players at his disposal that he's got. He's not complaining about anything.
Yeah.
And, that resonates right throughout the team. The lads just didn't see the fact that Ellis Sims went off as a problem. They got on with the job. They were like, well, you had players like Alex Pritchard showing some initiative and leadership and taking the game by the scruff of the neck. And, that's one thing that we've been pretty consistent in saying about this team is that the lads are just, they're so professional, they work really hard. They never give up. And, you know, it would have been very easy to sulk after Sims went off because we had no other striker on the pitch. And if anything, we got better. The football was better. It was as if we've been playing like that forever, you know. And as somebody rightly pointed out on Twitter, which I can't remember who it was who said it, so forgive us, but, you know, there is another way of playing. Yes, you know, nobody's saying that it's ideal we're missing these strikers. Of course, it's a problem. And we're not going to play like this every week. But there is more than one way of playing football. We've shown it, you know.
I mean, the thing is, Gav, as well, is that, you know, if you think about it, these players over the past kind of months here have faced three big challenges. The loss of Alex Neil, the loss of Ross Stewart, and then tonight the loss of Ellis Sims, I should say. And on every occasion, the Norwich game after Neil walked out, they played with their heads up and they didn't let his departure affect them. Okay, the loss of Ross Stewart slightly derailed them a little bit at Middlesbrough. I felt they were a little bit spooked by that and probably played a part in the defeat. But tonight, when Ellis Sims goes down injured, there's no sulking, as you said. There's no panic. They readjust to keep their heads. They keep calm. The leaders really get them together and say, we're okay, lads. We can get through this. We've still got what it takes to win the game. And lo and behold, they play some of the best football I've seen them play for a long time. So, yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Gav. I think the qualities of this team, and I think Tony Mowbray understands that. You know, he's an old school manager. He knows what he wants out of his players. He knows he wants to see a lot of commitment and work rate. He's going to get that from this team. I don't think you could ever accuse this Sunderland team of lacking the organic qualities that we as fans want to see. We always want to see commitment, heart, pride, passion. This team has got it, and that's going to carry us a long way this season, I think. Yeah,
I've got the Sky coverage playing in the background as we talk here, and they must have replayed the third goal half a dozen times from every angle. So obviously they're loving it. We'll go back to the start though. So I thought, to be fair, in the first half an hour we were the better team. I think they brought up the stats on the screen. We had 80% of the ball at one point. So, you know, Reading were quite happy for us to have all the ball. We didn't do much with it. I wouldn't say we were totally comfortable. There was quite a few times when the ball was going into the feet of Jack Clarke, Lyndon Gooch, Dan Neil in particular. We just couldn't get a hold of it. But, I mean, we were probably the better side up until the point that Ellis Sims goes off. And I'm sure down the line we'll dissect the Sims thing more. But at this stage, we don't know what's wrong with him. He just went off with a foot injury. It looked like his toe, maybe the top of his foot. Hopefully it's not too bad. But he goes off. Elliot Embleton comes on, and I actually think he changes the game in our favour because he plays a huge part in both goals. I mean, the first one in particular, he picks that up very deep inside our half, drives us forward, which is probably the best part of Embleton's game, is that ability to pick the ball up very early in the phase of play and kick things on. And Pritchard as well. Pritchard, fantastic with his role in that. He, you know, yet again, not scared to put his body in the way to win the ball, which layers off Embleton, gets Roberts forward. And it's a great finish by Patrick Roberts, isn't it?
Yeah, fantastic. And that's what Roberts brings you, Gav. You know, his close control is fantastic. He's got a good turn of pace and he gives defenders problems. But I think Elliot Embleton deserves a lot of credit because, as you said, he comes on. And, you know, just before we go on to that, I think that you're right. I think we there was a bit of a lack of cutting edge in the first half an hour. As you said, we had a lot of the ball, but it wasn't quite dropping for us. There was a few heavy first touches in there, etc., etc. I actually thought Ellis Sims played quite well, to be honest with you. I thought he held the ball up pretty well. I thought he was a good physical presence there, and I thought he was bringing others into play, and it was a real shame to see him depart. But yeah, Embleton comes on, and as you said, you know, he did it in the playoff final, he picks the ball up, but he drives, you know, that's what he wants to do. He wants to get the team forward. And yeah, it was a fantastic finish from Roberts. And, you know, just the calmness as well. You know, he just made it look so effortless. He just kind of stroked it into that far corner, just bent it out with the keeper's reach. Fantastic strike. And that's Roberts at his best, and hopefully under Tony Mowbray, we're going to see a lot more of that from him because Mowbray knows his pedigree. You know, Mowbray, he recognises a player when he sees one. And it was a perfect goal. Yeah, really, really well worked. Yeah, and then it was Embleton and Pritchard linking up really well again for the second. Pretty similar goal, wasn't it? You know, counter-attacking football with Embleton and Pritchard starting to move off. Roberts gets in down the right-hand side, sends one of their defenders for a Sunday dinner. I think he's still sliding. I don't think he's stopped. As he slides across to try and block it, he feints and sends him for a mile and then puts it in the bottom corner of Joe Lumley's goal yet again, 2-0. I mean, another great goal, wasn't it? Another good team move. Yeah, fantastic. And again, you know, that's Sunderland at their best. I think that's the way that Mowbray wants them to play. You know, I think he understands that sometimes you've got to, you know, kind of get down and dirty and kind of grind it out a little bit. But, you know, with all the attacking talent that he's got at his disposal, I think Mowbray knows that if he can kind of harness that and unleash that in a way that is effective, which he did tonight without a doubt, we can cause any team problems. We've got such a kind of wealth of attacking talent there. Okay, we might be short on out-and-out strikers. But when you've got the likes of Roberts in your team, Pritchard, Embo, that can cause, that's a kind of an attacking unit that can cause any team problems. And I think for the first and the second goals tonight, and the third without a doubt, you saw that in abundance. So yeah, it's very exciting, Gav. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Redden went in at half time, made a sub which made zero difference. Word on them, they were terrible.
They were dismal, Gav. I mean, they were absolutely horrendous. And I don't know if a lot of their fans had turned up dressed as plastic blue seats or not, but there was no atmosphere. It was a complete polar opposite of the Borough atmosphere, really, when I think we struggled with the intensity of the occasion a little bit. There was nothing there tonight, Gav. Nothing there at all. No intensity from the players, no real atmosphere, flat as a pancake.
Yeah, I spoke to a Redden fan during the game and he said that's the worst they've played all season. I mean, they are still... that's another thing you've got to think. They're fourth in the table. You know? They're on mugs.
Just goes to show how open this league's going to be. I think Norwich and Sheffield United are still probably the form teams. I think they'd probably be the teams to keep an eye on. But below them, it's anybody's league. I mean, the points difference from bottom to kind of upper mid is just is minimal, So yeah, it's going to be a very open league, I feel.
Yeah. Third goal, like I said, was outstanding. I can't say enough about it. Just the whole move. I mean, people will have seen it, so I don't need to break it down at this stage, but it's just, I'm still speechless. I can't, I can't even understand what happened. Like, that was something you say on a training ground. You don't say that in a game. The flicks and tricks and moves around the corner. The cross is unbelievable. That finds Jack Clarke. Clarke's first touch is just outstanding. And the finish, he hammers it in the bottom corner, right in front of the Sunderland fans. Like, it doesn't get any better than that for me. Like, that's definitely the best team goal I've ever seen from a Sunderland side.
Oh, it was fantastic. And as you said, you don't see that particularly much in games. I think, those are the kind of flicks and tricks you see when the team's confidence is soaring. But you know what? I want to see that from us. That's what we can do. I want to see us play with a bit of swagger, a bit of pace, and, some creativity. As I said earlier, we've got the players to do that. Yeah, they're young and inexperienced and they're still learning, many of them. But when you've got Roberts, he's played for Celtic. He's got no problems handling the mentality of playing for a big football club. Pritchard, as we saw last season, he's had no problems adjusting to playing for Sunderland. So, no, I like that, Gav. That's what I want to see from Sunderland. I think Mowbray would have enjoyed a very, very wry smile when he saw Jack Clarke bury that chance, because he probably thought, we've got some players here and they can do damage. Yeah,
and speaking of which, we brought off probably three of the players we need to protect a little bit, especially when you're 3-0 up. So Pritchard came off at the same time as Roberts. We brought on Jay Matete. We brought on Amad Diallo. And Corey Evans came off about 6-7 minutes after that. Joseph Benetti made his debut. He looked great. Him and Amad linked up brilliantly. I thought he was unlucky not to get a goal or two.
Yeah, good turn of pace on Bennett. A really good first touch as well. I think his very first touch was a real beauty. So yeah, he looked good. Again, obviously Mowbray is going to face the likes of him and Mishu and Barr and Diallo in. He's not going to risk burning them out, which we saw last season can be a problem. But yeah, I thought it was a reasonably promising debut from Bennett. Obviously didn't have a great deal of time to show what he's capable of, but the chance that I think Lumley got down to and parried out for a corner, good turn of pace in that, and I think he's looking like a really exciting signing for us.
Yeah, man the match, Phil. I think Sky gave it to Patrick Roberts. Probably fair, isn't it?
If I was listening to the match and I said if Don Goodman hadn't given it to Patrick Roberts, I would have put my fist through the TV because he was outstanding. But to be fair, I thought Alex Pritchard was excellent. I'd like to say as well, Gav, Adji Elise, fantastic performance tonight. Really, really good, solid. Kept everything simple, mopped up everything when he needed to do. I thought it was a really good chance for him to stake a claim tonight, because we were speculating, weren't we, about would he come in, with Cirkin being ruled out. I think he did a fantastic job as well. So yeah, really, really good performance. I think everyone did well, but for me, it had to be Roberts, man of the match without a doubt.
Yeah, I totally agree with you about Elise. That was, for his second professional game start, that was outstanding. He was...
Absolutely.
I mean, if it wasn't for what Roberts did, he would have got man of the match for me. But, Roberts fairly gets it. I think you could go right through the team. Danny Bart was outstanding. I said in our group chat during the game, probably the unsung hero of the season so far, Danny Bart. He hasn't put a foot wrong. No, Luke O'Nien as well alongside him was great. Thought Lyndon Gooch had a really good game today, apart from maybe the first 10-15 minutes. Dan Neil got better as the game went on. I think, you know, played his part, didn't he, in 2 of the goals. The step over for one of them was outstanding, and then obviously he does that flicking for the third one. Corey Evans, just typical Corey Evans, brilliant. Clarke, great finish. Roberts with his 2 goals, man the match. Pritchard played his part in all 3 goals. Showed his quality yet again, can't complain. As you said before, Ellis Sims, before he went off, was fine. I thought he won most of his headers, held the ball up well, did his job. You know, he didn't have any chances, but I think as far as his all-round play went, he was fine. Embleton changed the game when he came on, and Ahmad and Benetti, when they came on, played their part in just sort of keeping Reading on the back foot. And it's nice to be able to make them changes when you're 3-0 up in a game. And of course, Jamie Tete, to be fair, it was just a simple job for him when he came on. You know, Reading were never really going to come at us, so it was just a case of getting some minutes in his legs. So yeah, I mean, I could go on a lot longer, but we're not going to talk too much tonight in terms of reacting to the game and stuff. But there will be more coming up through the week on rokerreport.com. We've got a preview coming before the weekend. And we will keep you all posted on the latest goings on with Sunderland AFC. Fingers crossed we have some better news on injury front with Ellis Sims and stuff, but if we don't, who needs strikers? It doesn't matter, does it, Phil?
False nine's the way forward, Gav.
Yeah, that's the way forward. Thanks for listening, guys. Catch you later.
Where am I going? I don't know. Where am I heading? I ain't certain.